Hello, and welcome to the Honors Performance Series by WorldStrides Mentor webinar. We're excited to share some important information with you about the program, as well as answer any questions that you might have. Before we get started, we wanted to let you know about some of the features of this webinar. On the panel is a Q&A function. If you have any questions about anything that we are discussing or anything else about the Honors Performance Series, please feel free to go ahead and put that question in the Q&A. We do have people who are available and monitoring the conversation, and they will answer your questions as soon as they receive it. As well, this webinar is being recorded and will be sent out via email approximately 1 week after this recording. WorldStrides started in 1967 to provide educational travel opportunities for students. Since that time, we have inspired over 800,000 students from 150 countries to make informed decisions about their future, as well as learning about themselves. Our complete continuum of immersive career exploration and leadership development programs are taking place at numerous locations across the countries. Our programs are taught by subject matter experts and built on modern 21st century learning principles. To show you more about the Honors Performance Series in action, we wanted to play a short video. In case you are unable to hear or see any of the video, you can find it on our website, which is honorsperformance.org.
We're going to be going to Carnegie Hall, and that's incredible.
It's an honor and a privilege to even be here. It's an even bigger honor to perform at a place where everybody wants to say they've been.
Our wonderful voice teacher requested us to audition and send in an application, and the rest is history. Now we're here, and it's awesome, and it's probably the best experience I've ever had in my entire life.
It's insane. It's amazing.
We are in New York City. We're going to perform at Carnegie Hall, and these are some of the top high school musicians from all over the nation, and some of them are actually from other countries, and it is quite an honor to get to work with them.
Words can't even describe what it's like to imagine performing at Carnegie Hall.
This experience has been one of the best of my life. It's my first time in New York, first time singing with this big of a choir, and it's just an amazing experience to be myself around with these people because they get it.
I'm really excited to just be in New York. I'm from a small city in Georgia. Our conductor's really amazing. He brings a lot of energy to the room, and he really lets us play it out and express the emotions that the pieces explore.
We have magic that happens in rehearsal, and through music, we actually learn a lot about life. Knowing what to support, knowing how to support others, not always having to be in the limelight. All of these things are great, making great people through music.
How was it?
It was amazing!
Carnegie Hall, best moment of my life.
It's gonna sound kind of cliche, but I really felt alive.
The Honors Performance Series is for 6th through 12th grade students to spend either 5 or 6 amazing days, which will allow our young musicians to showcase their musical talents at world-renowned concert halls. Our 5-day programs are both domestic in New York City and Pasadena, California, and international in London, England. And our 6-day residential program is in Sydney, Australia. On the screen are the program locations for the 2024 and 2025 years. For our high school programs, we'll be at Carnegie Hall in New York City in February of this year, in November of this year, as well as February of 2025. They'll also be at the Royal Festival Hall in London this summer, and the Sydney Opera House in Sydney, Australia in July of next year. For the middle school audience, they will be at the Ambassador Auditorium in Pasadena, California in June of this year, and Los Angeles, California in summer 2025. These young musicians will join other musicians from around the world for an extraordinary opportunity to learn from exceptional conductors, as well as performing at the best concert halls in the world. Now let's talk a bit about the accommodations and safety for our young musicians. For all of our programs, the students will reside in double rooms with a roommate. Wi-Fi will be provided, and we'll also have nighttime monitors who will be walking around the halls of the hotel to make sure that the students are safe in their rooms. The rehearsal space where they will be performing and rehearsing with their conductors will also be at the hotel. The safety and security of our students is the #1 priority. To maintain that, we have a student to staff ratio of 15:1. Our staff will be around the students 24 hours a day. We'll have an on-site program desk, which will be staffed from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we'll also have an emergency support line that can be reached 24 hours. In case there is any type of medical situation or emergency, we'll also utilize doctors on call in conjunction with George Washington University. Also on the screen are some of our venues where the students will be performing. We have the Ambassador Auditorium in Pasadena, California, the Sydney Opera House in Australia, Carnegie Hall in New York, and the Royal Festival Hall in London, England. We are thrilled to have some of the top and world-renowned conductors leading our student ensembles. For our middle school students, we'll have Sandy Babb for the choir, Greg Whitmore for the band, and Angela Wu for the orchestra. For our high school students, we'll have Dr. Jeffrey Ames for the choir and Catherine Burke for the string orchestra. These conductors are at the top of their game, many of which have recorded albums or currently or have taught at some of the top universities and schools around the world. Let's talk a bit about our audition and selection process. To apply for our program, all applicants must complete an online enrollment form, obtain a reference from a teacher, submit a performing biography, and also submit an audition recording. For this year, we are still accepting rolling admissions applications for our 2024 high school program in London. Specifically, we are looking for instruments of a bassoon, French horn, trumpet, tuba, trombone, string bass, and cello. For our 2025 year, those applications will be opening in March of this year. For those lucky young musicians that are chosen to be finalists at the program, they'll perform on a world-renowned stage as part of one of our ensembles. They'll be able to meet, rehearse, and work with other like-minded musicians. Work with some of those world-renowned conductors that we mentioned before, as well as building their own performing resume. tour and explore the city that they will be performing in, as well as commemorating their accomplishments in that amazing performance at a finalist celebration with their peers. In terms of some of the site visits that they will be exploring in their host city, some of our visits have included seeing a Broadway show in New York City, in Hollywood, being able to be part of the movie and theater experience, taking a cruise around the Sydney Harbor in Australia, as well as touring London and seeing a show at the famed West End. And it's not only the students that get to have fun at our programs. We're also delighted to host a family program at each one of our locations for those family members that want to also explore a taste of the city, as well as watch and become immersed in the closing celebration and, of course, their performance. After a finalist has been accepted into our program, we'll open up the family program for those people who would like to come as well. We have a full access family program for those that would like to attend the entirety of the program, just like their finalist. Or for those that have a busy working schedule, they'll be able to do the weekend family program. We'll also have some of the highlights. Most of our rehearsals are going to be closed, but for those enrolled in the family program, they're able to sit in on some of those closed rehearsals. They'll also be attending each of the evening activities with their child. They'll attend the private celebration with the finalist, and they'll get a priority ticket to that performance. Now let's talk a little bit about the staff. Our program is staffed by on-site chaperones. These chaperones are music teachers or mentors. Many are nominators as well, and they have a background in performing arts and in travel. The chaperones will go through an application process, much like the finalists, and be interviewed. All of our chaperones are background checked and fingerprinted before they even arrive on site. After they arrive, they will also undergo some training to make sure that they are ready for the finalist. Our chaperone to student ratio is 1:15, and these individuals are representatives of the Honors Performance Series, and they'll work to make sure that the well-being of these young student musicians is maintained, as well as making sure that they are having a great time at the program. To talk a little bit more about what the chaperone opportunity is like, as well as to hear from one of our chaperones as well as one of our nominators about the greatness of the Honors Performance Series, I want to invite Laura J. to be able to speak a little bit about their experience. Laura, are you able to come off mute?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, thanks for that excellent introduction. My name is Laura J., and I am a high school orchestra teacher from Buffalo, New York. And I first learned about honors performance by nominating one of my students way back in 2019. She got in, and I was asked if I wanted to be a chaperone. I didn't know anything about the program, but the program that year was in Sydney, Australia. And I thought, oh my gosh, amazing. So I just on a whim applied to be a chaperone, and I had so much fun and I enjoyed everything about the program so much that I just came back every year I possibly could. So now I've done it quite a few times, and I've done it all across the world from Vienna to Sydney, and then just a few weeks ago in New York City. And I really do have to say that there's a reason I keep coming back. The program is just so incredibly well run and run by people who are really passionate about what they do and providing such amazing support to the students involved. Since then, I've nominated many students for the program. I just had a cellist participate in Carnegie Hall just a few weeks ago, and she had an incredible time. I really would feel very confident, and I have, as I said, sending students to this program and nominating them because I know how amazing these chaperones are and the organizers are at making sure the kids are safe and making sure that they have a really amazing, and not only amazing, but educational and enriching time. One of the big things that is so important to me is just the level of the musicianship and the level of the conductors that are really there working with the kids. The conductors are just top notch. You can look at the list on the website. There's even more in addition to the ones that were mentioned earlier. Conductors that work with all states, all across the country. The one that just worked with the orchestra I just worked with in New York City just a few weeks ago now is working with the Kansas All-State Orchestra. Like, that's the level of a conductor that you have. And they're working with all these groups, orchestras, bands, choruses. Some of them are composers themselves. Some of them work at universities. So they're just really incredible conductors. And I encourage you to take a look at the Honors Performance website to look at all of their bios, because they're really amazing. And not only do they get to work with these awesome conductors, but they get to play with peers that also really are just as passionate about music as they are. So maybe they're that big fish in their pond back home at their school, but in Honors Performance, they're able to play with students at their same level, which is incredibly inspiring to those students. And most importantly, they're really able to play in these world-renowned venues. I mean, not many people can say that they played in the Sydney Opera House or that they played at Carnegie Hall. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience that they're going to remember forever. And of course, not only that, but it's always an incredible opportunity to travel. Many students haven't left their home state. They certainly haven't left their country, or maybe visited a large city. So just to be able to do the simple things like go to a Broadway show or a West End show, or, get a New York slice of pizza is a huge thing for these kids. And it really is more life-changing than you'd think. So I recommend this program to everyone. I can't say enough about how great it is for these kids and how much they just absolutely love the program. I have my student from 2019 who went. She's about to graduate college now, and she still keeps in touch with some of her friends that she met in Sydney in 2019 from all over the country, just because it was such a worthwhile and meaningful experience for her. So I think you'll find that students really do have a life-changing experience through the program and really make lifetime friends, which is really special. And also they're inspired to be more musical when they get back to their program. So they're inspired and they're like ready to make music, and they're ready to kind of make that next step because they're just so invigorated through the program. So I could go on, and I certainly don't want to take any more time, but I will definitely say that I would highly recommend it. And there's a reason I've done it for this long, because I think it's a great program that everybody should be involved in. But I'd be happy to answer any more specific questions if anybody has any. But again, I certainly don't want to talk anybody's ear off.
Thank you so much, Laura. We really appreciate you being available to speak about your experience. We love being able to have you back every session with us. And as Laura said, we do still have our chat moderators who are available. And Laura is also one of those. So if you have any specific questions for her or any questions about anything we're talking about, please feel free to continue putting it in the Q&A. And thank you to those that I see are already starting to submit their questions. So I couldn't have said it any better than Laura, so I'll just go directly to the nomination part. Nominations are currently open. In fact, if you use your smartphone and are able to take a photo of that QR code, you can go directly to our nomination portal. If you have any questions on how to nominate or any questions about the nomination process, please feel free to reach out to our Office of Admissions, and that phone number is 1-800-503-0807. And as Laura was saying, it's great to be a nominator and a mentor, but it's even better as well, once you've nominated those students, to be able to come as one of our chaperones and experience that once in a lifetime opportunity with them. So we are also recruiting for chaperones. We've found that some of our best chaperones are those that are music teachers. And it's not only a enriching experience for the students, but as Laura said, it's also really enriching and fulfilling for the chaperones as well. So we are looking for chaperones for our middle school program in Los Angeles this summer, as well as our high school program in London, England. And if you go directly to our website, honorsperformance.org, and you can apply directly on our website, and we would love to have you as one of our chaperones in addition to a nominator. So at this time, we do want to thank you for your time and attendance at this webinar. Again, if you have any specific questions that we were not able to answer, please feel free to reach out directly to our Office of Admissions. That phone number is 1-800-503-0807, or you can email us at honors@honorsperformance.org. So at this time, we will open it up to any questions that have been asked throughout this webinar that we can answer live for everyone. Please feel free to continue putting any of your questions directly in the Q&A so we can get those answered for you as well. I know there were some questions about what nominations are currently open for, especially for this 2024 year. So we are accepting rolling admissions, not only for our high school program in London for this year, but also for our June 2024 middle school program as well in Pasadena, California. So we're still accepting students through our rolling admissions for both of our summer programs. So please feel free to continue nominating those students. We still are selecting people, especially based on some of our specific instrumental needs. And of course, our nominations will be open beginning in March for our 2025 year as well. I see here there are some specific questions about the cost of our programs. So it really does depend on the location for our program as well as the length of our programs. So to get not too much into the very fine details, we will want to just continue to push you toward our website, honorsperformance.org, or you can reach out directly to our Office of Admissions. We also offer scholarships as well as grants. So we don't want the price of the program to be an inhibitor to coming. We'll definitely work with each student to make sure that we can do what we can to allow them to have this opportunity. All right, I see our questions are decreasing in our Q&A. So I'll just do one more plug in case there are any last minute questions. We don't want you to leave if there are any questions that you still have on your mind. We have a lot of very experienced people with the Honors Performance series that are monitoring this Q&A, and we want to be able to answer any questions you might have. All right, well, it looks like Most of our questions have either been answered or are currently being answered. So I will go ahead and close out this webinar. Again, it has been recorded. So if there are any questions that you might have or wanting to hear any of this material again, it will be sent via email approximately 1 week from today. I will also have our moderators hang in here in this chat for about 2 more minutes in case there are any other last minute questions that you might have. But I want to thank you all for your time and attendance today. We're so excited to have you as nominators and mentors for the series. Seeing it firsthand, it really does make a huge impact on these young musicians. So just thank you for all that you're doing to continue encouraging them. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to us either at honors@honorsperformance.org, via our website, which is honorsperformance.org, or by phone at 1-800-503-0807. Thank you again and have a great time.